Coming up on the Locked On Ole Miss podcast, we will talk about the impact of Michael Trigg and Jaxson Dart. There's rumors floating around as we record this about their enrollment and admission standards. We will treat this podcast as if they are enrolled and if it's a done deal. If it changes, it changes. We're not a news organization. We're a commentary organization, and people want to talk about Jaxson Dart being in school. We will also talk about how do we view this recruiting class. And also we will close up with Tom Vanderford talking about all things Ole Miss sports. This is the Locked On Ole Miss podcast.
You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, welcome to the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. I am your host, Stephen Willis. Before we get started, thank you for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms. Just search Locked On Ole Miss. We're also on YouTube. Do us a favor and subscribe, hit the bell, and give us an upvote on the video. Lots of rumors going around right now about the enrollment status or the admission status of Jaxson Dart and Michael Trigg moving forward. At this point, we should probably proceed like it is essentially a done deal, honestly, because they would not start the admissions process with nothing to talk about, nothing to do. They would not be wasted effort. They would not take up the end of the transfer window, the drop add date, with the registrar's office having to register two people that might not come. Also, I think when it comes to admission, I've done the admission and enrollments thing in the same day. I don't see where this should be very difficult. So when you look back at the Jaxson Dart and Michael Trigg situation, you will wonder exactly how this will affect this Ole Miss team. And this Ole Miss team has a chance in 2022 to be better than it was in 2021. I'm not saying it's going to be better. I'm not saying anything, but it's certainly more talented, which should honestly scare the heck out of opponents that we are playing on that side. And when you look at the position and just go position by position, take Jaxson Dart at quarterback, Zach Evans at running back. You take Jalen Knott at slot, Michael Trigg at tight end, Braylon Brown, who could absolutely be a 5-star, but the 2020 cycle kind of took that away from him. You have Jonathan Mingo coming back for his dominant year. This is kind of his contract year. So you have a chance on the O-line. You return an already good O-line, and you add a Mason Brooks. And he could be very, very, very special to see, and it can help this offensive line out in areas that we don't even think about. Now, the one thing that I would look at, because the transfer portal doesn't stop, and I think there's probably 4 or 5 transfers yet to come. So after spring, they're going to come out. I think that Ole Miss might look at a center, a true center. But, we'll do, spring camp to find out how much that is actually needed. I think that Ole Miss will probably look at a corner, and I think Ole Miss will probably look at a wide receiver. Now, everybody talks about Deion Smith and everything, and it all goes away, but that door doesn't look like it's closed. And after the season, it's real easy for a wide receiver to come in and pick up what is going on in the offense. It's not a difficult pull, even with all the tempo and everything going on. It's fairly easy for a wide receiver to come in and contribute. Now, you also have your Brandon Buckhalters, your J.J. Henrys to go with your Braylon Browns. You have your Jordan Watkins, the transfer from Louisville that already came in. To Jalen Knox, transfer from Missouri that came in. These players are going to be big, key factors in the pass game. That's the reason people, whenever they talk about whatever the wide receiver of the day is, whatever that wide receiver of the day is, I tell them just not to worry about it. We're good. There's 4 stars all over that field. at wide receiver. We've recruited well when it comes to wide receivers. So I'm pretty excited about that, and I want to see what it looks like in the first 4 games of the season. Whenever we come back, we will talk about what this class should mean and how we should look at it. And also, what does this mean for 2022? What does this mean for 2022? And those are big questions that just need to be answered. Like, what does this mean for 2022? And everybody is going to talk about what's going on and everything, but there's 6 winnable games. I'm even counting the Kentucky game, and I know they're good. But there's 6 games that Ole Miss should feel relatively comfortable with. And because of that, then Auburn. So Ole Miss should be at worst 6-1 after 7. So we will talk about that a little bit as well. Hey, Locked On Ole Miss podcast fans. This is Stephen Willis with an incredible app everyone who buys gas needs to know about. GetUpside. My listeners are earning cash back every day for every gallon of gas. Every time they fill up, just download the free GetUpside app in the App Store or Google Play right now. Use the promo code SCORE for 25 cents per gallon or more on your first fill up. Cash back. Don't pay full price at the pump anymore. Get cash back using GetUpside. Just download the app for free and use promo code SCORE for 25 cents per gallon or more on your first tank. Some people who drive a lot are making as much as $200 or $300 a year in cash back, and there's no catch. The cash back gets added right to your account. You can cash out at any time to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free GetUpside app and use promo code SCORE to get 25 cents per gallon or more cash back on your first tank. That is promo code SCORE. Welcome back, and thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. Do us a favor, subscribe, hit the bell, and give us an upvote on the video. We would appreciate it. Now, one thing we are curious about is how do we take this class? Because this is a little bit different. Now, Kiffin is doing exactly what he claimed he was going to do. And that shouldn't be understated, as he's doing exactly what he said would happen. With the draft class and the free agency and all of that stuff, you can actually see how he's piecing this together. And this is beneficial. Whenever this is 25 initials back to that, when we get back to 25 initials per year, teams that are high-level recruiters, like Alabama, like Georgia, like Texas A&M, will have to choose between high school and the portal. And those big schools are going to have to keep their roster happy, which is going to be very difficult for them. So you could see a situation where second-tier teams like Ole Miss, like Arkansas, like numerous schools in the Big 12, like Baylor or Oklahoma State, can use the portal to equalize, so to speak. It's a way to get close to the Alabamas and the Georgias of the world without having to recruit at the same level they do. So take that into consideration. Now, so knowing that, the thing that I look forward to and talk about is this class to me is 2013. And everybody's like, well, there's no 4 or 5 stars. And well, there kind of are. And if you take Zach Evans and you take Jaxson Dart and you take Mason Brooks and you end up with Iceem Young, you have pretty much the same core that was put together in that 2013 class. And knowing that, you can absolutely build on what's going on. You can absolutely build on what's going on. And I'm really excited to see how they do it and what goes on, and how they move forward with this class and everything's going on, because this is a game changer type class for Ole Miss football. It just is. It's all about now raising expectations, because it might not have been right, but if people assumed, and I know about assuming and everybody, that, With Luke Altmaier, we're looking at 7-4 arms, 8-4, 7-5. With Jaxson Dart, even though there's only 6 more games of experience, you're looking at 9-3, 10-2. And those differences affect the morale of the fan base. And because of that, you'll see over the next couple of weeks, it slowly start to creep up. Now, there's going to be some hardcores that are all about baseball. Just remember, every show we will talk about football. We are going to talk about football pretty much all the time because we know what you want to talk about. We know what's going on. So, looking at that. So, it is the new year. So that means New Year's resolutions if yours is about getting fit or eating healthier, make sure to include Built Bar in your plan. Built Bar makes it easy to stick to your resolution because it tastes so good. You'll want to eat it, unlike other protein bars where it can be chalky or waxy or taste like a chemical spill. You want to eat healthy, but it's just so boring. By week 3, you're thinking it's just not worth it. Where is the chocolate? Well, Built Bars is 100% real chocolate. So here's an idea for the new year. Go to all your secret treat stashes at home, in the pantry, in the office, in the car, wherever. Throw out all the sugary, calorie-filled treats and replace them with Built Bars. So when you're craving a snack or a treat, you can reach for something that's healthy and tastes incredible. Even if you're not a huge fan of working out, you can still eat something that tastes good and is good for you. That way, when you enjoy a delicious Built Bar, you can almost count it as a workout. So go to Built.com, use promo code LOCKED15 and get 15% off of your order. Use promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at Built.com. All right, welcome back to the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. I am here with Tom Vanderford here to give his perspective. And just to let you know, it's about 7:15 Eastern, 6:15 Central at the moment. And there's all these conflicting reports going back. Is Jaxson Dart enrolled? Is he admitted? All of that. We're trying to go through all of that as well. But the one thing's for sure, if he's been admitted and they've started that process, just don't worry about it. It's over. That might as well be an announcement if he's admitted, because they wouldn't start that program. They wouldn't start that process for no reason. So how you doing, Tom?
Doing great.
Yeah. Tom's watching the Lady Rebs play against South Carolina. South Carolina is really dang good. Them and Tennessee, that's kind of a short end of the stick type thing for the Lady Rebs. So that doesn't mean the Lady Rebs aren't good. It just means that they are really good. South Carolina is absolutely the number 1 team in the country. So,
Right.
Tom, what's your take on this whole Jaxson Dart situation now?
I don't know. I'm of course, I kind of get a chuckle out of it. I've had friends with sources like we talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I had one in particular late yesterday that said, "Hey man, forget it. Dart's not coming. It's Altmaier, and we're going to have some backup in the portal, and that's what it's going to be." And then today it flips, and all these people once again have all these sources that he's enrolled and that they're working on getting Trigg enrolled and all this other good stuff. So I no bones about it. I want Altmaier to have some competition. If he beats Dart out, that's wonderful. Yeah. If Dart beats him out, that's wonderful too, because we'll have, they'll push each other. Mm-hmm. They'll push each other in spring. It'll make both of them better quarterbacks. So it's a win-win for the average Ole Miss fan.
Yeah, and whoever wins that race, whether it's Altmaier or Dart or whatever happens, you know that whoever is going to be really battle-tested and ready to go. And I was thinking about this transfer portal class with the addition of Trigg and Dart. And you could have Zach Evans back there, Jaxson Dart, Michael Trigg at tight end, which they didn't have a tight end. I like Casey Kelly, but they didn't have a tight end like they want last year. Jalen Knox, who everybody just loves, but had to sit out last year playing in the slot receiver in Elijah Moore's role. This offense can be really dangerous next year, don't you think?
Oh gosh, yeah. And you talk about people like Braylon Brown, who he was a COVID season away from maybe even being a 5-star. Yeah. And we forget, and I'm pretty sure J.J. Henry's still at Ole Miss. He didn't show me a lot last year in the games that he played, but hey, he's got speed, So I'm looking forward to it. I think the big uglies are going to be better. I don't know about this offer to this JUCO center from the College of DuPage up in Illinois, but he's a JUCO All-American, so I don't know, he's a freshman, so he'll have 3 to play 4.
I think it's a preferred walk-on offer as well.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. If it's PWO, that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm. I think it's just for depth to somebody behind, likely Caleb Warren, who's
that's who I think.
Yeah,
I think Caleb will slide down to there.
But
Caleb's good.
Mm-hmm. He really
good.
Is. And he's a strong run blocker, as somebody from Ninawaya would be. I mean, if you're playing 1A
right.
football in Mississippi, you can run block. That comes naturally.
Exactly. Well, he played hurt a lot last year too, so he's when he's healthy, he's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, and my starting 5 on the O-line right now, I think Mason Brooks at right tackle. I think Eli Acker at right guard. I think Caleb Warren at center. Nick Broker at left guard. And Jeremy James at left tackle. That is my early pre-spring guess at the offensive line situation at Ole Miss next year.
Yeah. Hey, I'm fine with that. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, and I've been trying to figure out how we think of this recruiting class and everything that's going on. And what are your takes from this recruiting class of how to look at it?
We did, I've been an Ole Miss fan my whole life since I met Archie Manning when I was 5 years old, which was a long time ago. And this is the best needs met class I've ever seen, if you count the transfers and the high school / JUCO signing folks. The transfers put us over the top. He said he was going to treat it like free agency, and he did. He saw what he could get in his signing class, and then he's aggressive. And I don't think he's done yet. The 5-star linebacker down in Houston decommitted from A&M the other day. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to get him, but I am saying that the day he committed, Lane Kiffin was in Houston that morning. So I'm saying he's shaking the tree. He's trying to get everything he can. But I mean, you just look, we get a wonderful linebacker from Central Michigan. We get, he's looking all over, and he's not doing things that are going to raise eyebrows. If you start getting the Eli Ricks and the Bouttes and people like that to come to Ole Miss, that's going to rub certain other programs wrong. And he's done it the right way. You get the kid from Western Kentucky. You get the kid from Central Michigan. You get the kid from Louisville.
Then you get 2 from USC.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I've noticed in some of the offers that we've sent out, we're hitting California a lot harder than we have so far with offers anyway.
Yeah. And I think also that has to do with maybe the new assistant coach that came in, Dane Cook.
Yeah.
I think in there. And also I noticed that Lane Kiffin is tweeting at Kerry Colbert quite a bit. There's a Twitter back and forth happening right now as a coach. So he might be somebody to pay attention to for the special teams coach down the road.
That'd be good. I just remember back when Tuberville was at Ole Miss, he said they asked him about his coaches that he had, his staff, and not having a lot of experience. And he said, dude, I hired recruiters. We'll figure it out when we get the Jimmies and Joes. And I think we've got good recruiters, and I think we've got good coaches. So, Chris Kiffin and Partridge, they're ace recruiters. They're good coaches. Our defensive line coach, I love the guy. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's actually just phenomenal. And the way they broke down film and what he did for Sam Williams, just fantastic.
Yeah.
And somebody like J.J. Pekees and Tywone Malone, this defensive line has a chance to look different depending on the need, the depth that he built up. And it's going to be very disruptive for an offensive lineman.
I mean, if we can go with 4 down linemen if we need to against a heavy run team. We've got that depth now, and we've got the athletic ability. I'm not saying that our base is going to be the 3-2-6, but you can do all kinds of things with that. And
I'm saying that
we have more defensive line talent than we've had since 2015.
Yeah, I'll say that the 3-2-6 is going to be our defense. It's going to be our base defense. Now, is there going to be a 4-down package where 5 or 6 plays in a game is 4 down linemen? Yeah, maybe. But the 3-2-6.
And we have the people to do that now.
Yeah, they've recruited for 2 years for this 3-2-6.
Right.
They're not going to throw it away.
Exactly. We didn't get Isheem Young to go, to a 4-2-5 or a whatever the case may be. Yeah.
You know what? I was doing my show the other day, and perhaps you'll remember this, but we're talking about a 3-2-6. But can you remember back in 2003 when Chuck Driesbach was here, and just the biggest ugly word out there was the 4-2-5? Yeah, like you got to be a 4-3. You need a linebacker. What are you doing on the 4-2-5? Now we're talking about a 3-2-6.
Yeah. Well, and the 4-2-5 caught on. I mean, against all these spread teams, everybody was going to it. And you had your you had your nickel, and then you had your dime package, and then like you said, you're at 3-2-6, and it's not just us. I mean, I think that after watching the last 2 years of Arkansas playing and their defensive backfield, I think the DB coach we got was a home run hire. Yeah, I really do. And the running back coach that we got from Houston is a home run hire. I just, I'm not used to this as an Ole Miss fan. There's always something missing, There's always, it's either not enough recruiters or not enough coaches, or, we've got 75 receivers and nobody else. There's always been something, when you go back to Houston Nutt and you go all the way through, there was always something that we didn't address. When Hugh Freeze was head coach, first couple of years, I about died every time we did punt returns, right? You remember, Corbett Meade, he couldn't catch a cold.
Then by the end of the Freeze reign, how much money would we have paid for a quality linebacker? Like Taylor Polk's out there being our leading tackler linebacker.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, Taylor Polk had the heart of a line, but he was, he didn't have that type of body. Like a Chance Campbell. He would have been awesome. Yeah,
Taylor Polk.
And he gave it everything. Right.
He had the heart of the lion, but the body of a bobcat.
Exactly. Yeah. But dude, man, I tell you, I may be just wearing, red and blue glasses, but I've never seen staff, coaching, recruiting, balanced recruiting class. I've never seen it like this at Ole Miss, ever.
Yeah, Lane is absolutely proven he's hired. I told people this year, is like, are you worried about the coaching turnover? And I was like, I don't care if all 10 of them turn over. This guy's proven that he can hire his replacement.
Exactly. Exactly. So he knows how to go out and get the young talent. It's just like, who knew who Jeff Levy was until he came to Ole Miss? I didn't.
Yeah.
So, I feel really positive about it.
I think it's just absolutely amazing that we could lose Matt Corral. And I do think the narrative of Matt Corral having to pick up this whole Ole Miss team and lead them to glory that was a little bit forced. And the proof of that is the last 5 games where the defense just absolutely showed up and was winning games for us.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's kind of fun to think about the fact that we could lose Matt Corral, we could lose Jerry and Ely, we could lose Snoop Connor, we could lose Braylon Sanders, we could lose Dontario Drummond, and this team might be more talented in 2022.
Exactly. I think the defense will be, but that's my opinion. And it'll be deeper. And I really, really, really think our offense has a chance to be very good. Very good.
Indeed. I'm looking forward to seeing what can happen. Now, remember, I tell people all the time, it's like, everybody's like, why would you recruit Jaxson Dart? Sell me on Jaxson Dart. And I was like, Jaxson Dart is Matt Corral in 2019. I'm not saying he's going to be Matt Corral in 2021, but at this point, he has the chance of going down that trajectory, but he also has 3 more inches and 20 more pounds.
Exactly. Exactly. And he's, the kid was a 5-star out of high school. He's if you look at his ranking and Corral's ranking out of high school, they're really close. And Dart's ranked a little higher. That doesn't mean nothing. Corral matured at Ole Miss, and he did great things his senior year, and did well his junior year. But Dart, like you said, the last time we talked, he's got 6 games under his belt, 6 Division I football games under his belt. So I think that he's going to be a little bit ahead of the curve than getting thrown into the Egg Bowl, into a weird situation, and getting in a fight and showing that immaturity. I think that was 18 actually, and then in 19 he only got to play a couple of games. Talking about Corral, and then he got benched for the running fun for the rest of the year. But until the Egg Bowl, he almost pulled that one off. So, but yeah, I just am really glad we've got another good high caliber quarterback, because I really believe Altmaier and Dart are going to push each other, and we've got at least the first 5 games are extremely winnable next year. Now, Kentucky's going to be pretty tough. I mean, they've got a good team, but we got them at home, and we've got 5 games. And and then after that's Auburn. And I don't, right now, Auburn looks like a dumpster fire.
Yeah, Auburn would be my pick for 7th in the West right now. I think Mississippi State and LSU would be the 5th or 6th team.
Yep,
I agree. And then you would have A&M. They're going to pay $30 million for 4th in the West, and they'll probably go 8-4.
Right. Yeah.
And then Arkansas and Ole Miss. That kind of depends, because Ole Miss has to go to Fayetteville, and Fayetteville's kind of a house of horrors for Ole Miss. And
we never do well in Fayetteville. Yeah. If it's Little Rock, I'm like, hey, we got a shot.
Yeah,
but
they don't.
We
they
just
don't
never really do well.
Rock. They don't want any at all in Little Rock, but in Fayetteville, I don't know what it is. I mean,
I don't either.
We gave up a touchdown on a kickoff return one time in Fayetteville.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I just, and it's such a long drive there, but anyway, yeah, it's they're going to be good. They've done well in the portal. They've done well recruiting. Their quarterback is he's something else. But when he lost his receiver, when his ace receiver, I can't forget, Burks, I think was his name.
Trevon Burks.
When he pulled and said, I'm done. I'm going pro. I'm opting out. He had a little bit harder road to hoe when he didn't have that guy. So, but they've done well in the portal. They've got some speed people, so it'll be interesting. But if I had to pick, I would pick Alabama, and then either Arkansas or Ole Miss, the interchangeable, and then on down the line. Pretty close to what you said. I think LSU is going to get better as the season goes along. I don't like the guy personally, but he's a good coach, Brian Kelly, and they're just going to have to get used to his way of doing things. So they're going to be down a little bit next year.
Okay. Tom Vanderford giving his thoughts. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Thanks again for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. Now tune in for a little bit more on Jaxson Dart. We're going to keep talking about that and Michael Trigg over and over again. Y'all probably get tired of that as you go. But now make your second listen of the day Locked On Bets with your boy Q and Lee Sterling, talking about all the hot gambling action, all the highlights, all the plays. They can help you out at Locked On Bets. But But anyway, for Tom, I'm Steve, and have a great weekend. Lord knows we deserve it. Hotty toddy.
Hotty toddy. Appreciate it, man. Have a good day.
Take care, man.
Yep, you too.